Condemned. Palace courtiers shed light on dark corners over Sussex malicious plot with royal. These are the royal advisors, the private secretaries and communications specialists who keep the business of monarchy turning. They're vitally important and usually very smart cogs in the wheel of the firm, gatekeepers and strategists to the crown, who the public rarely gets to see but who hold a great deal of power. Courtiers, the hidden power behind the crown, delves into the history of these trusted touchstones, revealing a rich tapestry of complex characters. It's all gripping. Trust me, this is a book you will want to read, but it's the chapters unpicking what Valentine attests really happened inside the court of Prince Harry and Meghan, the hothouse tensions that were feverishly bubbling over behind the scenes that have hit the headlines. Valentine carried out close to 100 interviews, but it wasn't easy. I think they thought this was potentially an interesting project, potentially something worth doing, that might shed light on how the monarchy works. While some key members of the royal household talked on the record, the majority, especially those around Harry and Meghan, would only share their experiences with Valentine under conditions of extreme secrecy and confidentiality. When Meghan gave her interview to Oprah Winfrey, she made all these disobliging remarks about the institution and drew a distinction between the institution and the members of the royal family, and clearly she was pointing a finger at the courtiers, the people whom Diana used to call the men in grey suits. Valentine explains as we talk about why he wanted to write this book and the truths that he uncovered. They're a much traduced breed. They've got it in the neck from Meghan, they got it in the neck from Diana. Fergie as well was very rude about them, so it struck me as interesting to answer the question, who are they and what do they do? Valentine's reputation as an esteemed royal correspondent certainly helped unlock closed doors, and reading the book you get the distinct impression that Harry and Meghan's interview with Oprah did a lot of damage to staff, leaving some in the royal household feeling hurt and misrepresented. They need to open the windows. The complaints were detailed in an internal email which was originally sent in October 2018 when the Sussexes were on their first overseas tour to Australia. Its author was one of the Duchess's then closest advisors, Press Secretary Jason North, who addressed the complaints not to Harry and Meghan but to Prince William's then private secretary, Simon Case. North referenced unacceptable treatment of staff by Meghan, which he said was outlined in report after report that he'd received. The core members of this group included the Queen's former assistant private secretary, Australian Samantha Cohen, who'd worked for Her Majesty since 2001. It was the Queen who a few weeks after their wedding asked Cohen to step in and help the couple. The Sussex Survivors Club would say on repeated occasions we were played, notes Valentine, who discovered some deeply disaffected staff on Harry and Meghan's team. But the more insiders he spoke to, the more Valentine began to discover something he probably already suspected, that Harry had issues with his day job long before he met Meghan. Does Valentine think Harry was playing the victim when he made those remarks? Meghan was bolt upright, Hollywood smile plastered on her face, looking absolutely immaculate, giving the impression that she was loving everything going on, but I'm sure she was bored witless. Harry spent the entire ceremony glaring over at the press because he's always on the surface. I don't mean he's superficial, I mean you see it, and we saw it then. We all know how this played out, and though Valentine doesn't shy away from digging into the detail of Courtiers' complaints, he's also at pains to point out there is fault on both sides. The palace was slow to respond and could be inflexible. No doubt we'll hear more about the Sussexes' version of events in Prince Harry's upcoming memoir and the couple's Netflix documentary.